Which is faster, train or plane? America's newest intercity rail line just opened
From Orlando to Miami.
with speeds up to 125 miles per hour. But can this new train beat flying when it comes to total travel time on this 235-mile journey? We're about to find out.
Hello, Jet Setters. I'm Jeb Brooks from greenergrass.com. This is a train versus plane showdown, and you're coming along.
Sure, flying may be faster. The flight is scheduled for just over an hour. But what about fighting traffic, airport security, and the inevitable long lines we'll encounter at the airport? Can the train's 3 hours and 30 minutes actually be faster? We'll also consider a bunch of other factors, but what do you think? Will the train beat the plane? Let us know in the comments. Here's the plan. We'll start in Orlando and jump on Brightline to Miami, where we'll stop the clock at the Freedom Tower in the city's center. Tomorrow, we'll start at the same point and catch a flight from Miami to Orlando, finishing back at the Orlando airport. We'll time both modes to settle the debate, which is faster, train or plane. First up, the train.
Brightline recommends arriving at the station 15 to 20 minutes before your train departs. Now, from right here at the center of the Orlando airport to the train station is currently 13 to 17 minutes. We're going to leave here 33 minutes before our departure. That gives us 13 minutes to get over there and 20 minutes before the train departs.
Brightline's Orlando station is right here at the airport, so we're choosing this fountain as our start and ending point for this race.
We got to get going. Start the clock. It is now about 12:22. Our train leaves at 12:54. So we're on track. We're following that guidance that Brightline has provided and making our way over there. The first stop, though, is a train. We've got to get on a train to get on a train. So let's get on this people mover. I've traveled with Brightline before. Suzanne, this is your first time. What are you expecting?
I've heard it's the nicest train in the USA. Is that true?
Well, at least as far as I've experienced, but we're about to find out. Super excited to give this one a try.
Currently, Orlando Station is located in Terminal C at the Orlando airport. Eventually, Brightline hopes to offer stops elsewhere, maybe even at Disney.
8 minutes into the journey, and we've just arrived at the train station. So let's head upstairs and get checked in.
One of the major benefits of train travel is you just have to show up like 15 or 20 minutes before your train departs. It still feels like cutting it close to me and makes me a little nervous, but they say you can do it, so let's give it a try.
This place is incredible. I mean, what is this, Europe? They've even got bacon art. I love bacon. There is security. They've got to scan your bags, but it was a total breeze. Took no time at all. But for now, I think we should head in and check out this lounge. What do you say?
Our premium fare tickets included access to the premium lounge at both ends of our trip, but more about that later.
There's plenty of seating, of course, but there's also drinks like coffee and even sodas. There's also a cocktail and beer self-serve bar kind of a setup, which is pretty cool. And there are also plenty of heavier snacks if you want a sandwich or, my favorite, a salami rose. But I think we found it. The best seats in the house. If you don't have the premium tickets, there's shopping and even a bar out here too. So plenty to fill your time, but you don't need it because you can get here so shortly before your departure. Speaking of, it's time for us to head over there.
Every second counts in this race. Today's train has 4 passenger carriages, 3 smart, set up like this, and 1 premium, which is where we're sitting. We'll explain the differences once we get underway.
On board, 4 minutes to an on-time departure.
Getting comfortable was easy enough. Not only were there luggage racks at either end of the coach, but there was also overhead storage and even plenty of room for my overstuffed backpack under the seat in front of me. There's also power at each seat and not 1, but 2 tray tables.
It's a nice coat hook for those cold Miami days. Okay, what do you think?
Super bright, super airy, really clean.
Here we go. We're off.
Very refreshing.
Tray table's huge, and there's plenty of room here to get some work done or watch a movie, whatever you want to do. And that is a tremendous asset to the experience. This is time you can use the whole time from getting to end, unlike when you're flying.
Yeah, when we fly between these 2 cities, it's not like I can have my laptop out during taxi, takeoff, or landing, which let's face it, on such a short flight is going to be most of the time. That makes the travel time on board the train far more usable.
And with internet speeds like this, you can certainly get tons of work done.
But the internet is not the only thing that's fast. Well, not quite high-speed rail. 125 miles per hour is pretty impressive.
And traffic's got nothing on us.
Back to Brightline's premium versus smart fares. The main differences are that premium tickets like ours allow lounge access at the station, 2x1 seating with wider seats, and complimentary drinks and snacks. Now, premium tickets also include a free Uber ride when departing or arriving in Miami. And while a smart ticket from Orlando to Miami starts at $79, premium starts at $149, which is what we paid.
In premium class, your beverages and snacks and food are included, so I'm giving this bubbly a try, purely for data collection purposes only. Cheers. It's nice.
At lunchtime, got several sandwich options. I chose the Italian, as did Suzanne. It's got some salami and prosciutto and some other meat on it. So let's dig in and see what it's like.
It was pretty good, and way more impressive than what we'll get tomorrow.
No napkin.
At the back of the coach, there's a massive bathroom. Also, in between the seating areas, you'll find a bench for taking phone calls or having conversations, along with that luggage storage area. In addition to the standard seating configurations, like where we are, there's a place for passengers traveling in wheelchairs. Now, as for those standard seats like ours,
It's time for the greener grass tape measure.
I checked the pitch and found a whopping
39 inches.
There was also
13 inches of knee room.
and the seats offer an impressive,
20 inches of width.
and of course, they also recline.
Well, work's done, and there's nobody behind me, so we're fine. Not a ton, but enough. This is pretty relaxing.
I think these seats are going to be even first class on Delta. We'll see.
Section from Orlando down to Palm Beach is all brand new, so it's an exciting addition. There's more to come for Brightline, which is also exciting.
For example, they hope to build an extension all the way to Disney and then on to Tampa. But building out a rail network in the 21st century is challenging. This extension from West Palm Beach up to Orlando, well, it took them 4 years and $6 billion.
And there you have it, folks. That's what we call the rail zone.
We made our first stop of the trip here in West Palm Beach. From here, we'll stop again in Fort Lauderdale and Aventura before ending in Miami.
Wow, coach really filled up in West Palm Beach, which makes sense. It's been going on. Service has been there much longer.
Unfortunately, Brightline has struggled with their at-grade crossings as drivers sometimes try to beat oncoming trains. Safety is a serious challenge, and the high number of these crossings is not only a significant risk, but also one of the reasons it's been so expensive to build this railway.
You're definitely not going to be hungry or thirsty on this train. Service has been amazing. They're constantly out offering drinks and snacks and snack boxes, all kinds of things. Have you enjoyed it?
I have, and we've had to turn down a fair amount because we're so full, but definitely come hungry with Brightline.
With all of the traffic we encountered here, we were extremely grateful to be on the train and not fighting all that congestion. But what are we going to see tomorrow when we have to make our way from Miami all the way out to the airport?
Next stop, Miami. Now, we're running a little behind schedule, so I don't know what that means for this plane versus train showdown, but we're about to find out because our stopping point in Miami is the Freedom Tower. We're supposed to arrive right about now, 4:27, but it looks like we still have a few more minutes to go.
Despite not having any noticeable slowdowns along the way, we pulled into the station 7 minutes late.
All right, just pulling into Miami now, and then we got a bit of a run here. 6 minutes by Uber or 9 minutes by foot. We're not going to wait for a car. We're just going to go.
That was a great ride, but this trip is not over yet. We've got to make it to the Freedom Tower in order to stop the clock. So we've got a little bit more to go. Every second counts and we don't want to wait for an Uber, so we're on our way now.
Do Google Maps walking directions include time stopped at traffic lights? Let us know in the comments. I've always wondered that.
Okay, there it is. Freedom Tower, our destination, and the place where we can finally stop the clock. There you have it. The time from the very heart of Orlando Airport to Freedom Tower on Brightline. Next up, it's time to fly. Join us. We're about to try Delta Airlines service.
I'm getting amazing race vibes. This is our pit stop for the night. Anyone else? Anyone else see it?
Next up, we've got to find out how long it takes to get from here in Miami back up to Orlando. We're going to do it by plane, and the first step is to fight that Miami traffic. Let's make our way out to the airport. The airline recommends we arrive at the airport 2 hours before our flight, so we're following that guidance. We're giving ourselves 30 minutes to get from here in downtown Miami all the way out to the airport, but you never know with Miami traffic, so hopefully it works out. I think our Uber's arriving, so let's hop in.
Again, this flight is scheduled for about an hour, which is obviously faster than the train yesterday, but once you add in the time required up front and the ever-present chance of delays, this is a much closer race than it might seem at face value.
Well, that took less time than we planned, which is a good thing, but you just never know with traffic, and that's one of those stressors that goes along with air travel you don't have as much with train travel. More challenge with air travel, both the gate and the time of departure are wrong on this board, so we're gonna go by the Delta app and hope that's right. Fortunately, we have plenty of time, so let's find out. But it's time to go through security, so let's hope we can get through that pretty quickly. We beat the estimate of 25 minutes by a good 15, so that's a good thing. Now, is 2 hours too early? Well, it is until it isn't. Fortunately for us today, everything's gone very smoothly, but you never know when there could be a long security line, a long line to check in or check bags. But fundamentally, the question is this.
How early do you get to the airport before your domestic flight? Let us know in the comments.
But even with all that extra time, we did not have lounge access today. Unlike yesterday, we can't go in here.
And here it is, our ride up to Orlando, this 23-year-old Delta Airlines 737.
With all that extra time, we just watched the world go by.
Yesterday, when we traveled from Orlando to Miami, there were 15 trains we could have chosen from. Today, there are 10 flights between Delta and American between these two cities. Now, on our 737-800, there are 160 seats, and 52 of them are empty. That's a lot of capacity between these two cities.
Another key difference between trains and planes is the boarding time.
Yesterday, it began 10 minutes before departure. Today, 40 minutes before departure is when we'll start the boarding process. Miami is an international airport connected to the entire world, and it seems like most of the other passengers on our flight are connecting to Orlando from somewhere else. There aren't many people who book this direct, which is probably why the train is more appealing for a lot of local passengers. Let's go.
We booked our tickets in economy, but received an upgrade thanks to our status with Delta. And while these seats are certainly nice with their seatback entertainment, power sockets, and under-seat storage, they can't hold a candle to the seats on the train.
Now, because these first-class seats give an advantage to us when we get to Orlando in terms of, we're off the plane quicker, we're going to wait until the very last passenger has gotten off in order to make our way to our finish line.
This is still a race, after all.
Plenty of choices, not that we'll have time to watch any of them, though.
But speaking of that in-flight entertainment, there's some kind of problem with the flight time. Will it be 114 hours, 35 minutes, 126 hours, 132 hours, or 83 hours?
It's all over the place. I'm going with 35 minutes, though.
Whereas finding space for luggage in the train yesterday was no problem at all. One of the biggest stressors in the air these days is ensuring space for your carry-on bags. We were extremely grateful to be traveling only with backpacks on this trip, and they fit well underneath the seats in front of us.
Now, I wonder if this is going to be our only drink service on such a short flight. But wait, there's more. Flight attendant is offering a pre-departure beverage in addition to the water. I'm well caffeinated, well hydrated, so I'm going to pass.
As boarding progressed, I began to notice flaws in Delta's cabin design.
Looks like boarding's complete about 2 hours and 13 minutes into the trip. Yesterday, we were well and truly on our way. At this point, we have not even left Miami.
Just about to close up the main cabin door and get underway. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. We do appreciate your business. Thanks for flying with us here at Delta Airlines.
Looks like we're number 4 for departure.
Delta offers free Wi-Fi for all of its SkyMiles members, and it worked pretty well on this trip. I was even able to get a bit of work done, but not nearly as much as on the train.
It's time for the great
grass tape measure.
The seat offers 38 inches of pitch, 13 inches of knee room, and 21 inches of width. Because of the short duration of the flight, there was no service on offer today, and by the time I had to fold away my tray table and stow my laptop, I'd really only gotten about 20 minutes of meaningful work done. So, was the time savings worth this trade-off? Or was there even really any time savings? We're about to find out, but first, let's consider some other factors like comfort, the ability to get work done, the onboard service, the price we paid, and then, of course, the speed. First, when it comes to comfort, the train wins hands down. Between the lounge and the size of the seats, it's a real winner. Also, the fact that we could work from the very beginning of the trip to the end of the trip was a definite point in the favor of the train, too. An onboard service from Brightline was unmatched. Our train attendant was constantly in the aisle chatting with everyone, proactively offering food and drinks. Finally, our train tickets cost $149 each. We paid $233.90 for the flight. That's another point in favor of the train. Finally, though, which one's faster?
There's a long taxi time here. This trip is not over. We may be in Orlando. We haven't reached our final destination yet. The longest 12 feet in aviation. We're going to wait until the very last passenger gets off. It doesn't seem like we should advantage the airline just because we got a free upgrade. All right, not done yet. We've got to make our way over to the very center of Orlando Airport before we can stop the clock. You know, there's no perfect way to make these comparisons, but we feel like this is pretty reasonable. It's really head-to-head between these two modes of transport, the train versus the plane between Miami and Orlando. We're not done yet. Almost there.
Where's the train? We gotta go. This is closer than I thought.
Finally, it appeared.
We're getting close.
Almost there.
And there you have it, the time it takes to fly from Miami to Orlando compared to taking the train. It may be faster, but the train definitely has its own advantages. Between now and the next time, see you in the sky.
Or the rails.
What do you think?
I'm filming. Careful.
It reclines. The greener grass tape measures seen better days. And here's our ride to, where are we going? Oh, yeah, that's right.